The Fisher effect is named after the economist Irving Fisher, who in the 20s studied this concept and observed the effect in the data. And the idea is that the printing of money, of course, in the long term, can't change any of the real variables in your economy, and that includes the real interest rate. So when you print money, what will protect or keep the real interest rate the same? Well, inflation will pick up, so inflation will be higher when you print money, but then the nominal interest rate will adjust with that inflation rate. So if inflation rate picks up 1% higher, so inflation's 1% higher than it was previously, the nominal rate will increase by 1%, and the real interest rate will stay exactly the same. So this is consistent with the money neutrality on real variables. What this means is when the Federal Reserve in the long run grows money supply, it will just cause inflation. And what this is telling you with the Fisher effect in the long run is that the Federal Reserve adjusting money supply will not change things like the real production in the economy, real consumption in the economy. We can't stimulate the economy because it won't change the real interest rate at all. The real interest rate is the price someone will have to pay if they want to borrow money, and it's the incentive, right, to earn real interest, to expand your purchasing power. It's the incentive to save. So we're saying that Federal Reserve policy in the long run doesn't affect that incentive to save, which basically eventually becomes investment in your economy. So it's a pretty powerful idea saying that in the long run, the printing of money has no stimulus on your overall economy. So here's an example that I came up with just to show you. Real interest rate equals, in this example, the nominal rate minus inflation. So let's say in this scenario, banks are paying 5% on your money. Prices are going up by 3%. Your real return is 2%. So you're expanding your purchasing power by 2% if you choose to save. So you make your savings decision based off of expanding your purchasing power by 2%. Now let's say all of a sudden people begin to expect higher rates of inflation. So if people now expect 4% inflation, well, to have an incentive to save, they still have to earn a real return of 2%. So what's going to happen is the bank will have to pay a higher nominal rate. In this case, the nominal rate will go up to 6%. So once nominal rate goes up to 6%, the inflation rate is now 4%, your real return is still 2%. We're saying the amount of savings in your economy and therefore the amount of investment in your economy would stay the same. So this is a simplified example of the Fisher effect, but it's a pretty powerful idea in the long run, telling you that adjusting the money supply or monetary policy really will have no effect on any of the real variables like real production or GDP.